Namaskar, I am Rajendra Salokhe. Welcome to my systematic Sicilian series. This is volume 2. Before starting, last time I had not talked about the ECO code of the Sicilian defense. So there are volumes called Encyclopedia of Chess Openings. The short form is ECO. So the volume B covers semi-open games other than the French defense. French defense is not included into semi-open. So one of the semi-open games is Sicilian defense. Other the Caro-Kann is also there. So basically Sicilian defense is a semi-open game, and its ECO code ranges from B20 to B99. About 80 variations are there. It's just not possible to cover all, but we are going to cover the main variations only. And what is semi-open game? So semi-open game is a chess opening in which white plays one e4 and black breaks symmetry immediately by replying with a move other than e5. So when black for e4, when black plays other than e5, it is semi-open. So on game I am displaying the chart at the left side, so you can keep looking at the chart. See this, the title has come into Marathi, let it be, we'll change it. So this is systematic Sicilian defense in English. So one e4 c5, and then there are 5 different main variations: open Sicilian, closed Sicilian, Alapin variation, Grand Prix attack, and Smith-Morra Gambit. So in our last video I covered this closed Sicilian, and this video will start with Smith-Morra Gambit. Now this closed Sicilian variation we discussed in last video, so I tick marked it here. So the basic moves are e4, c5, and knight c3. So this knight c3 doesn't cover this d4 square, so it is called closed variation. In fact, this Grand Prix attack also is a closed Sicilian. So this is closed Sicilian was B24, 25, 26, like that version. So there. Now I come to Smith-Morra Gambit. E4, C5, D4. So this is, when you push the pawn to D4, it is Smith-Morra Gambit. So pawn going directly to D4 means it is an open game. C cross D4, C3, D5. Now this move is Gambit declined, because again he is pushing the pawn C3, which you can capture. So if you capture the pawn, then it is Gambit accepted, otherwise it is Gambit declined. So common moves are E cross D5, Queen cross D5, C cross D. Queen is coming early out. Knight F6, Knight to C3, threatening the Queen, and Queen goes back to D8. These are the normal moves of the Smith-Morra Gambit decline. So now I'll see a small game in which a trap has occurred. E4, C5, D4, C cross D4, Knight C3, Knight C6, little deviation, but it is finally, see, pushes the pawn now C3, and it does not, black does not capture. Instead black moves D5 pawn to D5. So it is Smith-Morra Gambit declined. So E cross D5, Queen cross D5, C cross. These are the common moves. Bishop to G4 and pins the knight here. bishop to e2, supports this knight, because unnecessarily the knight, the bishop capturing the white knight will destroy the castle this side, right side. But bishop captures f3, bishop cross f3, queen cross d4, bishop cross c6 and check. Now he forgot that this is a, you can call it a discovery or removing the guard also. This knight at c6 is guarding the queen, so bishop captures and there is a check. So threat to the queen has taken place. Now b cross c6 and queen is gone. But here there was a solution also. See, we're here, this position. Now, sorry, it's not capturing. Instead of capturing, black plays this e6, and then white castles, knight f6, knight c3, queen to a5, knight e5. Now material is perfect, material is all balanced, both are equal material. Bishop crosses e2, knight crosses e2, so this way one way was there. Otherwise, after bishop crosses e2, knight crosses this c6, queen cross c3, b cross c3, and bishop cross this queen, knight cross d1 and b cross c6. So here in fact black is a knight down. So such type of traps occur into Smith-Morra Gambit decline. Now there is a small game here. Now it shows Sicilian Alapin version, but basically it started with Smith-Morra Gambit. See now, declined, and okay, this is Smith-Morra Gambit declined, and later the position somehow matches the Alapin variation, so it is showing Alapin variation here. E cross d4, queen cross d5, c cross d4, knight c6, knight f3, bishop to g4, knight to c3 and threatens the queen. It takes and it threatens the white queen. So knight crosses the queen, black crosses the queen. Now see, knight goes here. You should be always aware of this position, c7. Knight goes there and forks king and rook. It has happened into actual game, so you should always be aware of the c7 square. King to d7, knight captures rook, and bishop to h5, d5, knight to d4, bishop to d3, e5, the crosses n passant, f cross e6, bishop to e3 threatening the knight, bishop to b4 and check, king goes to f1, e5 supporting the knight, rook to c1, knight to e7, and knight to c7. Now see, this black is one rook down and white is one knight down, but generally position of white is much better, so here black has resigned. So that is a small game. Now I'll show you the Smith-Morra Gambit accepted moves. E4, C5, D4. This is Smith-Morra Gambit. Now the acceptance comes later, not immediately after you capture this. It is not accepted. It pushes a pawn to C3 and then it captures. Then it is called Gambit accepted. So this is Smith-Morra Gambit accepted moves. I'll see a small game here also. Actually played E4, C5, D4, C cross D4, C3, Gambit accepted, Knight cross C3, Knight C6. Material wise, black is up because of the Gambit, one pawn up, Knight to F3, E6, Bishop to C4, A6, white castles, Knight E7, Bishop to G5, F6, Bishop goes back to E3, B5, Bishop B3, Knight G6, Knight D5, Knight to B8, Knight to C1, E cross D5. Now why earlier he did not capture this knight? Just see. White puts the knight here, and knight pawn can capture the knight, but he didn't capture. Now why there is a trap here? Just see now. If it captures the knight here, am I missing one move? See, this is the move. If it captures, then queen goes to this D5, and then bishop tries to come in between, but queen to F7 and checkmate takes place. So this is a trap here, placing the knight there. And now the moves were from here, E cross D5. But why, I don't understand why he didn't capture it here now. Because black moved the rook and then he captured. But then this time white didn't capture. E cross D5. He captured with the pawn. Instead he should have captured, as earlier shown, should have captured with the queen. Knight to E5. Probably white did not understood the trap. Probably black thought of the trap. D6, Bishop B7, Knight to E5, F cross E5, F4, Queen to H4, F cross E5, Bishop cross G5, Bishop cross F7 and check. The rook is there to protect the bishop. So king moves to D8, queen moves to D2. Wants to give a check from here. G5, Bishop G5 can give a check. But he moves the queen to B4. Yeah, because the check means what? It will be a fork. Bishop goes to G5, it will be a fork, and queen will be gone. So move the queen here. Now queen cross G2 captures the bishop. Now material wise both are balanced. Equal material they have. But position wise white is more superior, because now he has to put the queen in between. Otherwise it's going to be a very horrible position, just mate will take place. Queen gives a check from here, G5, then it is a mate straight. That bishop can come in between, but bishop can come in between. but black will be in a worse position. So he has to put the queen in between to save all the position, and then bishop crosses the queen, and then black resign. So this way. So thank you very much. I'll be making more videos on this. Volume will be there for every this open Sicilian Alapin variation, and the important variations of open Sicilian I'll be showing. So keep watching, and please subscribe this channel.